This girl, this is the DoorDash girl that recorded a dude that was naked in his own house and then said that she was sexually assaulted, and her entire life basically has become it's gotten completely destroyed. Like, she's now had a bunch of, like, now she's facing 2 felonies, and it's only going to get worse.
Things just got so much worse for the TikTok DoorDash girl because this is becoming a nightmare for her.
And if you don't know about this situation, it is insane.
Right.
So here's a quick rundown.
So on October 12, 2025, a DoorDash driver by the name of Olivia Henderson got an order in Oswego, New York.
Yeah.
This was apparently a late-night Wendy's order, and from what we know, all she had to do was leave the food at the door, take a picture.
That fat guy, what do you think the probability is that he ordered Wendy's chili? Like, I would say it's probably around 98%. Like, 98% probability that he ordered chili? Yeah.
The food and continue on with her night.
Oh,
Instead, she allegedly made a series of
200%
awful decisions. The police and prosecution. She allegedly made a series of
200%
awful decisions. The police and prosecution. They're alleging that she pushed the door open and decided to film a drunk dude who was passed out on his couch with his pants down. So my first
and that's only one of the charges. There's 2 felony charges that she's facing.
Story, I reported that she walked into the house because that's what currently was going viral on TikTok. That, from what I know, is wrong. So I have to issue a massive retraction and correction to that statement. All the, at least credible sources are claiming that she never walked into that house. She was only standing in the doorway.
The only thing that's debated is whether she tried to open the door additionally, and whether she cut the video of her doing that with the door being more shut before she recorded the original version. That was the thing that was mainly discussed.
Still, either way, filming and posting what she saw after she allegedly either opened the door or pushed open the door is still incredibly stupid. So if what the prosecution is alleging is true, she seemingly went onto TikTok and tried to destroy an innocent man's life for passing out within his own house with his pants down. Now, obviously, we're not going to show the original video. I can't even find the original video. All I can find is a screenshot. But even if I could find the original video, I wouldn't be showing that here on this channel for obvious reasons. You know, because there is a massive privacy issue there. But this is her follow-up video to the original video.
So, on
crash out. Total fucking crash out. I love to see this.
2025, the DoorDash customer requested that their order be left at their front door. When I arrived at their front door was wide open. The lights were on. They were sleeping on the couch within eyesight of the front door with their pants and underwear pulled down to their ankles, and they were indecently exposed to me.
Okay, so she says the door was wide open, and the police and prosecutors say otherwise. And the reason they're saying this is because there's allegedly...
Because there's a video. It wasn't even wide open in the video.
Ring doorbell footage of her either opening or pushing the door open. Now, the only problem is, to my knowledge, that footage has not been released to the public. I was actually hoping to see that footage today in court, but court had different plans for us today.
Because I also reported this to the police, and the police are doing nothing. I was assaulted. I'm the victim.
You were assaulted? What do you mean? He's asleep.
Lost my job. I'm the victim. I was working.
The victim. Oh, God. You're not the victim enough.
I was literally working, and they deactivated me. This is related. They just punished me for posting about my assault while door dashing.
Man, I love this, don't you? This is amazing.
They just fired
beautiful.
me, and the police are doing nothing.
God.
Okay, so that's her side, and the prosecution is
now they're doing something. Now you're gonna go to prison, maybe.
Basically saying something around the lines of this happening.
Sir, I have your DoorDash. Ew! I'm a victim!
Now, obviously, that video exaggerates things for humor, and again...
only a little bit.
Correction, she didn't go into the house from what we know. But this was her final response before the trial.
Hi guys, it's the DoorDash girl. There have been a lot of people saying things like I entered the customer's home or I opened the customer's door, but I can assure you that I did not do either of those things, and I have obtained irrefutable proof that the door was already wide open when I arrived to the customer's house. But due to its importance, I cannot post that proof at this time.
Okay, so we have
so we don't know. Okay.
Two sides saying two different things. The only thing everyone can agree on is that the homeowner was laying passed out inside of his own home with his pants down. Then she had her arraignment, which was actually televised, and she asked to ban cameras, but the judge reportedly responded, so now you don't want cameras involved. So I wouldn't say that was
absolutely fucking base, judge. They recorded this, she didn't want cameras? Man. Oh, now you don't want them. Oh, okay.
was a strong start for her, but that was her arraignment. This is how her first hearing went. And as we found out, it didn't go as expected, and it doesn't seem like she's just gonna get a slap on the wrist.
Yeah.
Back at the airport again, because today we're heading to the TikTok DoorDash girls trial, which is tomorrow. So we're going to Syracuse, New York now. But I definitely wanted to attend this trial because there's been so many details about this case that have been extremely unclear. So might as well go show up and get them clarified. Dude, this is the smallest airplane I've ever been on.
Oh, is it? Is it that big? I don't know. Oh, wow.
Welcome to Syracuse, where local time is 2:03 p.m.
Alright, so I'm in Syracuse, New York.
Then I got snow everywhere.
This
What
is
the
not
fuck?
Miami. Why get an influencer break
Yeah.
to law somewhere tropical? Miami was great.
Oh my god.
This is rough. Tomorrow morning, I'm driving the last like 25 minutes or so to get to Oswego. And apparently Oswego is known for being even colder than this spot. So that's awesome.
Oh
Good morning. We're getting ready here. It's like 7:50 in the morning here. The trial starts at 7:30. I'll probably try to get there like half an hour early so we have way more time than anticipated. But yeah, for now, coffee, a little bowl of cereal. It's time to wake all up and we'll be good. There's a few things that are probably going to happen today. Or actually, I say that, but in reality, I don't know what's going to happen because there's always surprises when you go to trial. She currently has a public defender, and she's charged with 2 counts. She has 1 count of
You 2 felony counts and you've got a public defender? Oh, bitch, you're cooked. It's over. Yeah.
She has 1 count of Okay, so she has 1 count of dissemination of unlawful surveillance image. She also has 1 count of unlawful surveillance. Both of these, she's pled not. She also has 1 count of unlawful surveillance. Both of these, she's pled not guilty to. 1 count of unlawful surveillance. Both of these, kind of Okay, so she has 1 count of dissemination of unlawful surveillance image. She also has 1 count of unlawful surveillance. Both of these, she's pled not guilty to. As stated, she's currently being represented by a public defender. From talking to the practicing lawyers I know, it seems like it's very likely that a plea deal will happen today. Who knows? Though? That's why we're gonna go see. The big thing is for her is she filmed the guy. That's why she's charged. You have a whole bunch of arguments about like, okay, did she open the door? Was the door already kind of opened? How was the door when she found it? There's now alleged Ring camera footage showing that she either opened the door or pushed the door open before she started filming. That's
what I thought. Yeah, because again, for them to act on this or charge her, I thought that was a good reason for it.
The really damning evidence. So we have the police alleging that she opened the door and started filming, and then we have DoorDash essentially banning her from the platform because she filmed the customer. But she's claiming that she's the victim in all of this, which is why, you know, all of her TikToks started in general. So it will be interesting to see how her defense argues for her in court. If I was going to be making any predictions on what's going to happen is, my guess, plea deal, I think they're going to be very lenient on her. She didn't even have to bail out, so she was released on her own recognizance, meaning she didn't have to pay bail. It's basically an honor system. It's like, hey, you can go, you don't have to give us anything, we just trust that you're going to show up to court. So I have a feeling that her sentence is going to be, or her plea is going to be very lenient. Most likely, she'll be getting like some community service, maybe a fine. That's what I'm expecting here, but we'll see.
All right, welcome to Oswego,
Here we
New
go.
York.
It's really cold,
Beautiful town.
Bert. Wait, that's a bald eagle.
I just got out of court.
Bert. Wait, that's a bald eagle.
I just got out of court. I'm now going to find a little location where I can do a quick live stream for you guys.
Wow, look at that building. That's beautiful. I think that's the town hall. This is the city courthouse.
It's a heron?
This is probably the spot. Hopefully we could find some shelter from the wind, though. I feel like my arch nemesis at this point is the wind. Yeah, this is perfect down here. You just got out of the court case for the TikTok DoorDash girl. Something big did happen, but it took a while for anything to happen at all. So I got here at the court at about 9:21, and she was on trial at 9:30. This time it was a little bit different because last time we know that we had footage of inside of the courtroom because the news was there. So the news, they were set up, they were filming her. I walk in, there's no TV camera set up. I don't even see any journalists. And basically, I was there until the end. I can confirm there was no journalist there. So
nobody cared.
That was there, which is kind of interesting.
That's funny.
Other updates to this case. She still has a public defender. She has 2 charges. At 9:30, judge walks in, everyone stands up, sits down, you know, the whole thing. And I don't see the DoorDash girl. I think it was just because I didn't see her, because she was sitting in there. And at that time, I was sitting in like kind of like in the back right of the courtroom. And this courtroom is set up in a not the best fashion, because there's a column blocking the judge and the audio isn't really good. And it didn't seem like they had the microphone speakers on the back. So I couldn't hear what was going on. So I had to move around. Eventually, after they went through a couple of the defendants, I got up and I moved. And that's when I could actually see the judge, so I can at least read what his lips were saying, because the audio was still bad. And I think I sat down kind of behind the DoorDash girl at that point, and that's when I spotted her. Going through my notes real quick. One second. Oh, no.
Almost lost it.
All right. My hands are frozen. Why did I not bring gloves? As a Norwegian, I should have known better. So 10 o'clock rolls around, and I see who I think is the DoorDash girl's public defender. 10:25 rolls around. Nothing yet. Okay. So at this point, I've been here for a minute. 10:50 rolls around. Woman who looks like the DoorDash girl, who I think was, she gets up after talking to her public defender and leaves. And I'm like, uh-oh. What's going on now? Is this like another Jack Doherty situation where there's some like continuation? Do I have to show up tomorrow? I don't know. I wait around even further. Then we have probably like another 40 minutes of waiting. They go through the last people. The judge then is waiting for one of the defendants to show up. So we get through them, and suddenly it's just me in court, in the courtroom. And I'm like, oh, well, I'm not going up on the stand. So that must mean it's over. I go out to the clerk, I talk to them, and I'm thinking, okay, there's a continuation that happened. Instead, I found out this was divested to county court. So originally, where we're at, this building right here, this is the city court.
Wait,
so
what?
City court, I mean, this is kind of like small fines, but hers was divested to county court. So as I said, originally she was in city court. But
is that
now,
worse?
County court, that's the main state court. So that means most likely she's facing way more serious charges. Or, well, not way more serious charges. The charges are still the same, but most likely...
Man, that's bad.
They could penalize her a lot harder.
Because it's a felony?
So according to the lawyer that I've been talking to, that's the prosecutor that moved it there, most likely because of all the public attention on the case and the public outcry. So that means that most likely she won't get a slap on the wrist. So currently, she is facing 8 years in prison. That's her max sentence because it's...
Oh my God. Bro, if that happens, holy shit.
A 4-year max sentence for each of the felonies, and her minimum sentence seems to be a couple years of probation, and that is if she's convicted 100%. Minimum sentence seems to be a couple years of probation, and that is if she's convicted 100%.
Couple of years?
It seems like she was moved to Superior Court, so that's actually even worse for her. So that's what we have right now. She's currently facing 8 years in prison. That's the worst case. She's not going to get that. But her minimum is at least a couple years on probation. Either way, she shouldn't have done this. This is like a
shouldn't have done it. Yep, shouldn't have done it. Big fucking mistake.
Self-inflicted thing that didn't need to happen. I don't know why she decided to do that.
She wanted attention, she got it. That's right.
And I have to go find out when the next court date is. Because if it was just moved till tomorrow, that's very convenient for me. Because then I only have to extend by 1 day. But if I have to like keep extending weeks on out, nah, I gotta go home.
Yeah, no doubt.
I can't be here for weeks.
I love equality.
A new resident of Oswego, New York, until all of this resides. Who knows? All right, we did a successful live stream. I'm actually fairly happy with that. Now, let's grab a coffee and then head back to the hotel and knock out this video.
It's a nice place. Look how nice this area is.
Is the coffee shop right here?
Wow.
The coffee shop is in here.
Oh, awesome. Thank you so much, sir.
Oh, wow. They opened a door for him?
Secured.
Oh, jeez.
The iced coffee. I would definitely recommend checking out that coffee spot because they were super nice in there. Other than that, let's get back to the hotel and finish this video. Okay, so I'm now back here at the hotel. I started off on one side of the courtroom, but...
It was weird seeing him without the hat, man. Like, that was weird.
When I positioned myself in the courtroom, I quickly back here at the hotel. I started off on one side of the courtroom, but...
It was weird seeing him without the hat, man. Like, that was... Jeez.
The iced coffee. I would definitely recommend checking out that coffee spot because they were super nice in there. Other than that, let's get back to the hotel and finish this video. Okay, so I'm now back here at the hotel. I started off on one side of the courtroom, but...
It was weird seeing him without the hat, man. Like, that was weird.
When I positioned myself in the courtroom,
really
I quickly
weird.
realized
Damn.
I picked like the worst seat possible in the house. Because as I walked into the courtroom, the door never closed. So it was open and there was constantly people going through the hallway talking. So it was hard to hear the judge. Then for some reason, the speakers that were like kind of behind you, normally they're connected to the judge's microphone. So you can actually hear what the judge is saying. But they were not connected. So I couldn't hear the judge.
So it's
then
fucked.
there was also a pillar in front of me. So I couldn't see the judge either. So I just picked the worst seat in the house. And I'm here to report for you guys. And if I can't see nor hear the judge, that's a problem. So I ended up crossing to the opposite side of the room. And I went to the front bench so I can actually hear the judge because, again, the speakers were not on. So I sat there and I was looking around for Olivia and I couldn't find her. So then I'm sitting here like,
She's not
okay,
there at all.
am I in the wrong place? But I double checked. It was the right judge.
Yeah, if she's going to have to go and get a felony charge and you're getting 2 felony charges, I think that there's a good chance she could end up in jail. I do hope they make an example out of her for actually, like, there's a lot of these, like, social media, like, hysterical voyeurism videos where they're going out and trying to make a scene about something. And this is, I think, a great point where you need to make an example out of somebody so other people don't go and do the same thing. Because if they think that they can do this and get away with it, it's going to continue happening regularly. So you have to make sure you hold them accountable. And if you don't do that, then it's just going to get worse and worse.
I was in the right courthouse. So then I was wondering, did she not show up? Well, there was a woman sitting in front of me, but I didn't put 2 and 2 together because I was looking for a lady with, you know, curly red hair. But the woman in front of me had brownish hair, brownish blondish hair, and it was straight and it was in a ponytail. So that threw me off. But it wasn't until after she stood up and left that I was straight and it was in a ponytail. So that threw me off. But it wasn't until after she stood up and left that I was like, oh wait, that might have been Olivia. And after talking to the clerk, it probably was. But anyway, she left. I was sitting there until no one was there. And
it's not a vibrator, guys. It's dude, it's just a mic that looks that way, okay? Relax.
Oh wait, why are you here? And I'm like, I'm just here spectating. And he was like, well, it's all over. And I'm like, okay, all right, I'll see myself out then. So I then went to the clerk and I talked to her and confirmed, no, this was the correct venue. This was the correct judge. And that was probably Olivia. And I found out all the new information about her case. But I guess if Olivia's telling the truth, everyone owes her an apology. If she's lying, then it seems like she tried to ruin the life of an innocent man.
Well, I don't think that's true at all because, like, I mean, regardless of what happened, she still recorded a man against his consent when he was unclothed, and she published it on the internet without telling him. There's never a universe where doing that to a person is justified. Even if you think that person did something wrong, there's still not a reason to post porn, like basically pornography of them on the internet. If somebody had done this to a woman, everybody would come to the obvious conclusion that it was wrong. But I think that because it's happening to a man, there's maybe a small handful of people that don't immediately see this as something that's horrible. No, just because somebody's inside of their house naked doesn't mean you get a chance to record them and post it on the internet in a public platform. That's just not how it works. It's never been how it works. This is obvious. It's malicious. Yeah, it's in his own house.
Attention on TikTok, I guess. Now, should he have been passed out with his pants on his ankles? Probably not, but also he was in his own house. But either way, Olivia claims that she has proof that the door was open from the start. And the prosecutors, they have the opposite. So they also have proof that she opened the door. So as of right now, it's a he said, she said. We don't know the answers because I didn't see any proof.
I feel like that's only for one of the charges, right? Because the other charge is her disseminating, like, basically nudity of a person on the internet without their consent. Like, I mean, that's a felony charge too. And like that, I mean, I don't think anybody's disputing that. I mean, it's obvious. Like, did she do that? Yeah, obviously she did that. So, like, it's not even a question.
Either side today. Regardless, though, this is now a nightmare for Olivia because this has now been moved to a higher court. But whatever the outcome of this trial is, I will be updating you guys. Let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. If you're new here, feel free to subscribe. Drop a like if you enjoyed this video and if you want me to travel for more trials in the future. But other than that, I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.
That is insane.
And in tonight's deep dive,
so, give me a second. Let me pause this.
Things just...
Man. I cannot think of a person who deserves this more. I can't. This is beautiful. I am so happy. This is amazing. Oh no! Oh no! Yeah, no, apparently I do think things are about to happen. Khomeini canceled his Friday sermon fearing that he would be targeted. I love how, like, this is what I think is funny about this guy. Is that he thinks that we don't know where he is. Is like, do you really think that we don't know where you're at? What, we know where you are, man. Like, what are you even thinking? The Israeli army is waiting for the U.S. to move to attack Iran? Yeah, no, I'll look at it in a minute. Yeah, like, you dumb as hell. And we got another one here, right here. Look at this. I'll look at it in a minute. Yeah, like, you dumb as hell. And we got another one here, right here. Look at this. Despite an internet blackout, major delays, new videos are coming out from Iran. So this is on January 18th. And they're chanting women, life, freedom. Look at this. Look at them go. Still protesting. They're brave. Yeah. No, I told you guys this is happening. Like, it's people think that it's not going to happen for whatever reason. It's going to happen. It's completely cooked. It's totally over. And new release footage alleged to be from the night of January 8th to 9th, which is claimed to show a member of Iran's IRGC firing the automatic rifle at anti-regime protesters in a pickup truck. Look at that. Classic, huh? The real classic. Man. It's bad, I know. Well, no, he's not showing anybody getting shot. I mean, I'm sure he's aiming at someone, but who knows if he's hitting them or not. Crimes against humanity on video, yet the UN, ICJ, and ICC are silent. Yep, that's right. And they're not saying anything about it because they're captured by people who hate the West. That's the reason why. And UN's powerless. The senior officials in the Israeli government and concerned President Trump will launch an initial strike campaign against targets in Iran before losing interest, leaving Israel to deal with the aftermath. Yeah, surely that's what's going to happen, right? And Iranian state TV is airing Sneeko.
می شود فهمید که موساد و سیا در این اتفاقات نقش می شود فهمید که موساد و سیا در این اتفاقات نقش داشتند. اگر هم فکر می‌کنید این توهم توطئه
That's crazy.
حرفای مایک پومپئو را
Oh my god.
سال نو میلادی بر همه ایرانی
What the fuck is happening? Well, basically, so the reason why they're doing this is they're trying to create the permission structure that allows them to kill their people. And the way they're doing that is by making this narrative that it's Mossad and the CIA that are behind these protests. And it's actually not Iranians that are unhappy, but it's actually the government and these foreign governments that are fomenting the unrest themselves. And that's the reason why it's actually happening. So President Trump reaffirms that help is on the way for Iranians. Oh boy. The Islamic regime in Iran has reportedly carried out its first execution of an anti-regime protester. No way! According to the BBC, Ali Rapar, a sports coach from Mashhad, was executed yesterday morning after being detained just 10 days later. Can you believe they're actually killing them? No way! Not surprised? Of course, this is obvious this was going to happen. It is. I mean, these people are fucking psychos. What were you going to expect? The only way you can deal with these people is to just get rid of them. You know, nobody going to talk back whenever the USA destroyed the regime in Iran? Yeah, I guess that's probably true. Rest in peace. Yeah, I mean, this is also a pretty high probability, right? By June 30th, I mean, it's inevitable this shit's going to happen, right? I think it is. And I'll see if there's any more information about this it's worth looking at, because it's a whole lot. And I don't know what the fuck this is. Oh, that's some other bullshit besides that. But yeah, this is Ukraine. I'm trying to find the other posts about this. But yeah, obviously, like, I mean, I'm not trying to show a bunch of gore, but that's what happens. This is what happens whenever you go against them, right? And people are nuts, man. You see that? That's what happens. There's like a little kid. Look at that. Look at that. Oh my God. Attacked an anti-regime protester with machetes. Look, 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 look. Who does this? There's a little kid watching this too. Nah, you can barely even see it. You can't even see it, bro. Like, you can't even see what's going on. But, like, I don't think that's TOS, honestly. Like, I mean, there's so many videos that they show like that of shootings that happen. Like, it's clear that's not happening. They're animals. Yeah, I know y'all don't want to see it. I'm not going to keep watching it. But, like, that's it. I just want y'all to see this is how bad it is. It is. This is how bad and insane it is. There's some kind of test? Yeah, I mean, like, these people are absolute fucking animals.
And in tonight's deep dive, we're focusing on the nationwide protests in Iran and the widespread internet blackout limiting information to Iranians and that what they're able to share with the world. A human rights organization now says more than 3,900 people have been killed and more than 24,000 others have been arrested in the protests. Iran's government has not confirmed exact figures of deaths and arrests. With the internet blackout now in its 12th day, a global internet monitoring company, NetBlock, says national connectivity in Iran remains extremely minimal.
Look at those bombs, bro. Like, that's insane.
Now is Masha Al-Mardani. She's the Associate Director of Technology Threats and Opportunities at the human rights organization Witness. So,
you realize Iran have a military of a million standing soldiers, underground cities? I don't think they really have shit, honestly. I don't think they do. I think they're totally gassed out. Like, I remember whenever Israel was bombing them, and, like, they had to turn off their internet because it was so embarrassing. Like, think about it like this. They had to turn off their internet because they were getting exposed for having all their shit get blown up. You're so naive, the Ayatollah ain't going anywhere? All right. Like, I think that people don't understand this, man. They really don't.
Masha, thank you for joining us. You have family and relatives living in Tehran. How are they doing, and are you able to communicate with them to hear about what they're going through right now?
I hope it's true. Yeah, it is.
Thanks for having me on.
You're going to find out.
So as of last Tuesday, the Iranian authorities turned on outgoing landline telephone calls. So I think something many people...
So now you can't even call anybody?
Don't know is that when the internet shutdown happened on the evening of January 18th, there was also a communication blackout that occurred. But as of last Tuesday, outgoing calls were enabled. But of course, as we know, outgoing calls are monitored by the authorities in Iran. So of course, it's very hard to communicate. But what we have been seeing is there is a certain amount of Starlink satellite internet terminals available inside of Iran. And much of the documentation efforts that we've been seeing, many of the human rights organizations that are trying to verify very meticulously and methodologically the death count. And as you said,
I bet some people are saying it's like 40,000 now, like 40,000. Like, it's impossible to really know what the numbers are. But, like, if they kept things up at the rate that they were going, I think that's it. Elon is really, like, this is what I think is always weird, is, like, people want to complain about Elon, but, like, he's out there giving fucking internet to people that are getting killed by their government. Isn't that crazy?
A recent figure by one of the organizations, around 3,900. Of course, each of these organizations that come out with these figures say that they are, in fact, much higher because their access to information...
Well, that's why they shut down the internet, is so it's harder to communicate with other people and to figure out what's going on.
is systematically denied as, you know, a part of what's going on. The Iranian authorities have turned off the internet to enable what is one of the possibly most historic large-scale massacres of
if the numbers are even on the bottom, like, I mean, there are some super conservative estimates, but it seems very clear to me that by the time this is over, the numbers of the people killed by this government is going to be higher than the Chinese government in the 1989 Tiananmen Square. That's basically the high score right now. Iran's going to beat it. By a mile, by the way. It's probably going to be 2 or 3x.
Protesters. I don't think since Tiananmen Square we have seen these numbers, and from all intents and purposes, these numbers have exceeded the deaths of those protesters back in the 80s in China.
It's crazy.
So the internet shutdown is very much the tool with which they use to enable these crimes to occur in the dark. Of course, there's
That's why they do it.
on families of victims not to report these officially.
Well, it's pretty obvious, right?
Fog is very much a part of what they are doing
You
in
want
terms of the
MVP?
repression
Yeah,
and
he is.
violence against the protesters.
Given the information fog you were just talking about and the extreme communication challenges, how are protesters able to organize and get their videos and stories out to the world, including some of the videos that we've been playing on our airwaves?
The fog of war, yeah. Exactly.
I said, there is a small window into Iran right now, and that has been enabled by satellite internet. And it's through Starlink terminals that have been smuggled into the country. There was a 12-day war.
And they even have disruptors for the Starlink, so the Starlinks don't work that well.
Between Iran and Israel last June. Starlink became popular.
If you want regime change, it'll take a full-fledged war. This won't end from airstrikes alone. I wish this was the case, but come on, man. Honestly, I don't agree with you. I don't. I think that all we really need to do is cripple the military to where the people can take them out. I think that's it. Because, like, we know where they're at. I mean, like, obviously you just have a satellite. You just read where they're at and just send a bomb over there, blow them up. Like, what the fuck? Like, how really? Like, how do you think that's hard to do? Like, we got shit that can read a license plate off of a car, and it's in space. You think we can't figure out where they got all the guys at? Just go send a bomb over there, blow the shit up. Like, I mean, what are we doing? What are we talking about this for? Ask Maduro. Yeah, ask Maduro. Oh, no, I can't do that. I can't do anything. Yeah, sure.
And they
got the leadership.
started
Yeah,
off
exactly.
selling at $300 a dish, but they're now upwards of $1,000 to $2,000 US being sold. And so there's a very limited window. As a human rights organization at Witness, as someone who works on technology and human rights, we've been advocating for a way to scale satellite internet access.
Yeah, exactly. Somebody says parts of the military will defect. No, they already have been. The military's been defecting. There's 2 militaries in Iran. There's the Iranian army that is primarily, it seems like, defecting from Iran and like the leadership. And then there's the IRGC. It's basically like, I mean, I don't want to, like damage the name, but like, it's like the normal standing army and like the Knights Templar. If the Knights Templar were a bunch of retards. So basically you have like the religious army versus like just like the standing like state army. The state army is defecting, whereas the religious army is not defecting as much.
To the Iranian people, of course, normal internet access is encumbered by authorities and local infrastructure that they can control and shut off. So if there is a way, we've been calling on many different policymakers and governments to enable a more kind of scalable form of satellite internet, which is called direct-to-cell satellite internet, which is something that companies such as Starlink have already been developing. And so there must
Muslims
really
versus
be a way
non-Muslims?
To take away
yeah, in a way. I mean, I think that this war definitely, this is the reason why you don't see a lot of leftists supporting the war, is because through leftist ideology, Islam is right and everything that's not Islam is wrong. So what I'm saying is that any sort of secular Christian or non, like anything that could be seen as like a white religion is going to be seen as the bad thing versus Islam, which they see as a brown religion in terms of like the skin color of the people that practice it. Like, I know it sounds retarded. I know it sounds absolutely just like unfathomably retarded to say this. It's true.
Cudgel that the Iranian...
Not all leftists think the same thing, though. Enough of them do to where, like, there's not... Like, let's be honest. A lot of them do.
Authorities use to enact such massacres, and that is by giving free access and providing free access to the internet in a way that we can witness and properly document these crimes, because they are
even from the population's Muslim, even half of them don't want the IRGC.
They have been putting forth a massive information operation as well as this type of censorship to ensure that the truth about the scale, which from all anecdotal reports, professionally and personally as a Iranian,
liberals love Islam now.
Yeah,
they absolutely
is really
do.
Unprecedented. I mean,
they're on defense for it like crazy.
Iranian that has
like, if they don't love Islam, then why are they constantly complaining about how Trump treats women when Islam in a lot of countries don't let them vote? Why are they constantly complaining about LGBT rights being eroded when, as far as I know, not in a single majority Muslim country are they able to have gay marriage? Why is that? Yeah, they absolutely do.
Connection inside of Iran. They know at least one person that has
double
died
standard
in these protests, if not
anybody can see this
of individuals, if not handfuls of individuals across every single neighborhood in Iran. It's very hard to describe the total scale of the deaths, and the information fog that is being enabled is really making it hard. I mean, here
that's why they're doing it. It's to make it hard. It's insane. I always points to my friends and family, just watch them do mental gymnastics to justify it. It's because they don't really care. Well, it's because they're afraid to criticize it because it goes against their power tier, their tier list and like their power rankings of like intersectionality. If you understand like the psychology behind that, you'll be able to understand everything that they think.
News, of course, you have to point to a verified number, which is 3,900. But of course, because of the information environment, we don't know the full scale. And a recent report, for example, from medical workers says that it's above 16,000 protesters that have been killed by
authorities. It's probably way more. Like they said that a week ago. Yeah.
Wow, that is incredibly important context, especially bringing all that context around the numbers that we are able to report. Masha Ali Mardani, thank you so much.
No, I can't wait for this shit to get shut down, man. Like as soon as it's over, like I feel like honestly, things will be better for everybody. They will be. Isn't it more the far left than the left? I think that the left is silenced by the far left. The far left are the ones that are really dictating the social policies of left-wing politics. Things like allowing illegal aliens to be in the country, that's a far left policy. That's not a typical liberal policy. If you go back to the 90s or even the 2000s, no Democrat liberal politician was saying this except for maybe one nutball. But now you have all of these people that are advocating for it, people that are saying this insane. It's absurdity. Yeah, it's just totally fucking absurd. And some of these countries are thinking, why do you Americans care what we're doing? Well, we care what they're doing because they're destabilizing the entire region and they're funding terrorist groups that have attacked our boats. They shouldn't have done that. It was a mistake. And so now you should, now you're going to see what happens, right? I'm going to go back to this.
King class neighborhood near Tehran.
Yeah. I'm gonna go back to this.
King class neighborhood near Tehran.
Yeah.
This world is a place where rap is banned.
Is this the dying moments of an aspiring rapper? Oh no, I thought it was more of the frames of this. Let me see if I can find it. I don't know if there's any new videos of this too, because it's really hard to find any videos or any information about this. Iran issues its first official death toll. Oh, good.
There's so much going on. Iran has offered the first government-issued death toll from its bloody crackdown on protests around the country.
How many?
And it's far lower than the count by human rights groups. Trey Yinks joins us now from Tel Aviv.
Yeah, whatever the number is, add a 0.
With the latest, Trey.
Yep.
Yeah, hey, Brian, good morning. We are following developments out of Iran as the internet blackout there reaches 2 weeks of total darkness. Overnight, Iranian state media released the first official death toll numbers from the protests in Iran, saying that 3,117 people were killed, more than 2,400.
3,117? That's more than in 9/11. Holy shit.
Whom were civilians. The true number is believed to be much higher, with some estimates as high as 16,000
like 30,000. Yeah, probably about
President
that.
Trump spoke about Iran at Davos.
Oh my
today,
God,
focusing
that's
on
bad.
His
Yeah, it
success
is.
with destroying the country's nuclear program.
We obliterated Iran's nuclear enrichment capacity with Operation.
Don't forget, that's what they're willing to announce.
Midnight Hammer. We're 2 months away from having a nuclear weapon. Can't let that happen. And Iran does want to talk. And we'll talk.
With the possibility of further military action against...
I don't think you can negotiate with them at this point. Like, after they're out there, they're, like, mass killing their own people. And, like, they're already trying to build nuclear weapons again and again. No. Like, you can't deal with people like that.
Iran still on the table. We're also tracking how Iran is going after opposition
that's over.
in and near their country. New video provided to Fox News shows the moments an Iranian drone slammed into a Kurdish base early on Wednesday in Iraq. The attack was the latest in a series of Iranian regime actions.
Somebody sent me this. This is what, and obviously all of this stuff comes from, this is complete hearsay. But like, there's a message that somebody tried to get to me. One of my mods sent this to me. It says, hi, I'm sorry. I'm trying to contact mods and let them know that I have some insiders in Iran. Something's happening that's insane. They're experimenting and torturing people using nuclear waste material they burned inside out. There are pictures, but I recommend to not see it. And I believe that there are things worse. Please let Asman and the world know they can't sweep this. That sounds pretty fucking bad. Now, again, like, I mean, it's impossible to know that, but that's one of the messages that's coming from people that, we've been communicating with that are in Iran that have told us this stuff. This is unverified. Yeah, it's totally something's happening that's insane. They're experimenting and torturing people using nuclear waste material they burned inside out. There are pictures, but I recommend to not see it. And I believe that there are things worse. Please let Asman and the world know they can't sweep this. That sounds pretty fucking bad. Now, again, like, I mean, it's impossible to know that, but that's one of the messages that's coming from people that, we've been communicating with that are in Iran that have told us this stuff. This is unverified. Yeah, it's totally unverified. But it's possible. Actual Nazi stuff? I don't know why you guys are surprised. Of course they do this. Like, they're doing it so they can scare people so they don't do it anymore. Like, obviously. Like, that's... Like, it's horrible. It's brutal. It's, like, the most terrible thing you can imagine. That's why they're doing it. That's the entire reason.
Meant to target Kurdish opposition groups in and near Iran. Last week, a Kurdish general spoke with Fox News about how his forces are resisting the Iranian regime.
Yeah.
In some places, they confront the Iranian security forces who attack the civilians, and in other locations, they attack the IRGC bases. The last case was an IRGC base that was attacked and obliterated last night.
Sources tell Fox News that one Peshmerga fighter was killed in this Iranian attack, the latest fatality from the Iranian regime. Brian?
Thanks, Trey. You don't want to mess with the Kurds, but they are. Meanwhile, President Trump hosting...
Stalin? Yeah, it does look like Stalin,
to
huh?
sign a historic Board of Peace agreement as his team reveals the ambitious strategy behind their master plan.
Peace is a different deal than a business deal because you're changing a mindset. And in Israel, there was 2 years of very intense war. For the people in Gaza, there was more than just 2 years of war. They had 20 years of hopelessness, being ruled by a terrorist organization. So what the Board of Peace will have the ability to do if we're successful with Gaza is really show how do you do peace implementation.
Yep, joining us now, former Deputy National Security Advisor, KT McFarland.
Yeah, I mean, that's good. Hopefully it happens, right? Would you support dropping crates of machine guns into protester camps? Honestly, no, because I think that they would be, they would...
Advisor, KT McFarland.
Yeah, I mean, that's good. Hopefully it happens, right? Would you support dropping crates of machine guns into protester camps? Honestly, no, because I think that they would be, they would be claimed by the people that were trying to kill them. I think that would be a mistake. Yeah, I like the idea of it, right? But it's not like, this isn't like in PUBG where you can call in like a supply drop or something like that. It'll be exploited. Yeah, I mean, it's a good idea, right? I mean, I like the concept, but at the end of the day, I mean, you're dropping in machine guns, and think about it like this too. They don't maybe know how to use these machine guns, so like you're giving these people this false sense of power, and then maybe they don't know how to use them in the way that they should be. So I think that if we're going to do something, it should be us doing it, or empowering them through systems that they exist in already, rather than trying to just give them weapons and stuff like that they're not familiar with. Like, you ever seen, like, for example, you ever seen like one of these like guys, like, you know, like a guy in Dubai that like just buys a brand new Lamborghini and then he drives it right into a wall? Well, I feel like that's probably what a lot of people would do with an M16.
KT, Board of Peace, the impact you expect it to make.
Yeah, Tiger. Yeah,
it's so different from the United Nations. I mean, it's what the United Nations was supposed to be originally, to help make peace, to help rebuild countries after war. The Board of Peace is
like the Taliban got U.S. hardware.
So they're
yeah,
doing
exactly.
things, and they're doing things very quickly, and they're doing things very effectively, and they're doing things nobody thought they could do. Peace in the Middle East, peace in Gaza, rebuilding
Gaza.
Give them
AK-47s.
Everybody
knows I use it.
That it really is kind of a slap at the old world, right? The French, the British, the Germans, all the people who are against Greenland, who are against this, who are against that, who hate Donald Trump, that they're kind of left out now. The world.
Well, yeah, I mean, like, because they don't have any power. That's the reason why. Don't take this the wrong way. But you say you need to be brutal and apply Old Testament to people to stop behavior. I'm against Iran, but isn't that what they're doing too? Yeah, that's why I said they're doing it. That's why I said it's easy. It's easy to predict that Iran will do the most cruel and brutal thing possible, because they have to in order to maintain a degree of authority. Like, they have to do this. Like, they have to, like, burn people alive with radiation. Because if they don't, then more people are going to think that it's okay, and then they're going to be the ones that are on the chopping block, right? That's the reason why. I mean, obviously. Like, I mean, again, no, why are we acting like this is crazy to say? It's just a fact. Of course that's what happens. Why do you think they had all these torture devices back in the day? This isn't new. It's the reality. Damn, some people just don't get it. They just don't get this shit. It's the way it is.
Moved on from them. And what does the Board of Peace do going forward? After it solved Gaza, there are a lot of other possibilities it could do. Now, President Trump says it's going to work with the United Nations. So I think what either happens is the United Nations gets its act together, or if not, the Board of Peace takes a lot of predominance in the world of peace.
Leading up to this, there's a bit of a fracture, certainly an eruption, as the president says, I need Greenland. Denmark says you can't have it. Europeans rally to his side.
No, I think that this is really it. And let's see how many, if I can find one more.
Well, if they keep killing people, will you go back?
Well, I don't want to talk about that because I don't want to put myself in a position. I can't say that. I don't want to say it because I think it would be stupid for me to say that.
Yeah.
Okay, with that, we bring in exiled Iranian Crown Prince Reza Pahlavi, who says that the regime is on the verge of collapse. Crown Prince Pahlavi, thank you very much. It's good to have you back on the program, sir.
Good to be back, Martha.
How do you interpret that exchange with Maria Bartiromo and President Trump?
Martha, in the middle of what's happening, I think I can update you with the latest news that I had from Iran itself. I just got off the phone with a political prisoner that managed to somehow connect to the internet.
That's a fucking wow.
And here's what the situation on the ground is. It's an ongoing war between the people and this regime. The regime has massacred them, and it is in total darkness that it is carrying out even more brutality by shooting people in hospitals under the direct order of Khamenei.
Yeah, this is what they're doing. They go into the hospitals and then they just kill the protesters in their beds. I mean, again, like, I don't think that people understand. Like, that's what you do whenever you're a psychotic dictatorship. That's Nazi shit? That's a war crime? Who cares? Like, do you think that's like a magic word? Like, you think this is Harry Potter? You know, like, if you say that, they can't do it? What are you talking about? Check Discord. What does it say? Some insights from my Iranian contact. He's saying that the death toll is tens of thousands. The knowledge of the actions by the regime against protesters is very segmented. As in more remote regions and places with fewer protests, he says are less aware of the killings, which makes perfect sense. He also says that in hospitals, as he is currently close to one, they force injured protesters to sign papers that they classify them as Israeli agents or foreign agitators, with immediate execution upon refusal to sign. So as well as many bodies and missing body parts such as teeth, eyes, and organs. Oh, that makes sense, right? So basically, you signed a paperwork that says that we can kill you, or we kill you for not signing the paperwork. Yeah, that's about right. I mean, coming from the same people that brought you the greatest hits, such as we're going to kill you and then charge your families for the bullets. Yeah, I could believe that. Yep. They're animals. I mean, like, that's what animals would do. Sure.
Not to let anyone who was even wounded alive. That's the extent of their brutality, and the numbers you quoted is correct. We anticipate at least 20,000 people dead, if not more, across the land. Now, one thing that the world and this audience needs to realize is that these brave Iranians are saying, we are fighting not just for our own
Isn't it crazy that people are still out there protesting too? Like, that's nuts.
But to free the world from this terrorist regime. Their commitment is to fight to the very end, and this is the momentum that we have right now. And what could change the odds in their favor is the much-needed neutralization of the regime's instruments of repression.
That's what they have to do. Like, if they blow up the different military installations and just segment out the IRGC, I think that it's over. I think it's totally over.
Only occur based on what the president stated a few days ago, that it will be consequential for the regime using the brutality against the people. And you should not believe a word. Word the regime says, because as an act of desperation, they're trying to buy time. They will make the same false promises that they've done before.
Yeah, they're just going to make up a bunch of bullshit. It's what they do.
You cannot rely on their words.
They have nothing to lose, everything in the game.
You know, President Trump suggested that talks might be in the works. He talked about the devastation to Iran's nuclear program by the B-2 strikes that were carried out by the United States and ground strikes that were carried out by the Israelis. But there is a lot of discussion in the things that President Trump is saying about negotiations and talks with the Iranian leadership. What do you say to to President Trump about that suggestion?
Look, President Trump is a man of his word and he's a man of peace. And he does realize that the best way to protect lives is to take away the instrument of repression that has been a reason for this number of people killed. So in the equation and in the balance is what is the most effective way to stabilize the area. And we all realize that the best way to put an end to radicalism, to terrorism, to the nuclear threat, and everything else that this regime has provided our world with can only be eliminated in one shot by this regime collapsing. What's happening now is the regime, as I said before, is on the verge of collapse.
Right?
What will expedite its demise and will facilitate a transition to stability and peace is its disappearance. And the people of Iran right now are the boots on the ground fighting.
Isn't it amazing that when you're really in a dictatorship, you keep protesting and fighting until you win or die, but in the West, only protest as long as they're able to broadcast it in media, like with Palestine or the Maduro protests? Yeah, that's because we're not really in a dictatorship. This is the same reason why Greta Thunberg had no problem flying her little flotilla or sailing her little flotilla, her virtue signal boat, over to Israel and then being captured. It's because she knew that nothing would happen to her. There's a reason why they don't do this with Iran. That's the reality.
They do need, however, air cover when they are totally unarmed vis-a-vis a very brutal regime. I don't think there's anything left to negotiate other than this time siding with the Iranian nation, with the Iranian people, who clearly state that they are no longer want this regime, they're rejectful of this regime, they hate this regime. And it's a people that, unlike a regime that has chanted death to America from its inception.
Yeah, they hate us. Like, if they could blow us up, they would do it. They just can't do it. That's the only reason why. It's because we keep stopping them from getting nukes. People don't realize that just because you're corrupt, you have to be a monster. When 20 million Egyptians protested the corrupt government that was in power 30 years in the capital against the advisors bending and rounding up and attacking the protesters, Mubarak chose to step down. The Iranian government is just filled with monsters. Yeah, of course. Greta is totally silent. Well, she made like one retweet about it. But again, like it's all like, if you understand their level of like mind fuckery, all of this makes perfect sense.
They love America, want to be partners with America, and want to be
Russia lost.
An element that
Soviet Union
to
collapsed.
Regional peace and stability, working together with our neighbors. A completely different picture that we currently have with this regime. This is what's at stake, and I think this president understands this as well.
So the language has changed a little bit and from the president, and that could mean that he doesn't want to talk about potential options that he is still considering. And he wants to hold those cards close to the vest, which I think is very understandable from the president in terms of maintaining the options that he has. On the other hand, I'm hearing that people on the ground in Iran are despondent because they are very afraid that an Obama-like response is happening again, that there's all this momentum and that there's a feeling that it is on the verge of collapse.